Broadcasting from a van down by the river.
Now the pitch. That's a high drive, deep right center, way back. Might be out of here. It's off the wall. One run is in. 2 runs are in. A third man scores.
Do you want to hit like a pro? Big Flies, changing the way you play one bat at a time. Handmade, lightweight wood bats, custom designed to individual orders in Chico, California. You can reach Big Flies through Babs Big Flies on Facebook Messenger or simply by calling Kevin 530-513-7371. Big Flies, changing the way you play one bat at a time.
Hey, everybody, DP here. Tune in Sundays to the West Coast River Report live on Blog Talk Radio as we chronicle all things wiffle ball.
Fast Plastic is back. The 2018 Texas Open in Frisco, Texas. Saturday, October 6th, Columbus Day weekend. Battle through 24 of the hardest-hitting teams to take home the most coveted prize in the history of the sport. Fast Plastic. We're back bigger and better. $10,000 in the national championship. Register now. www.fastplasticnct.com. Fast Plastic. It's about the game.
You're listening to the Fast Plastic Radio Network. It's about the game.
And welcome to the Fast Plastic Radio Network. I'm JB alongside your host, Billy O. What's going on, Bill?
Hey, JB, you ready to get this show underway?
I'm ready to get it cooking.
I didn't even have my mic set up yet.
I see that. You're slacking.
Yeah, definitely. So, how do I sound over there?
You sound good. Very good.
Maybe bump me up touch there. Test 1. All right. So, that was a rough spot right there.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have a pretty good show tonight. Got a few guests lined up and some interesting discussions coming our way tonight. We'll be here till 9 p.m., at least 9 p.m. Central. Going to be taking a lot of callers tonight, right?
That's right. You know why? It's because we're right here in good old America.
America?
Okay.
Yeah, we can take callers. Was it last week we had a few callers?
Yeah, we had actually quite a few callers there at the end of the show. I think it's going to be a regular segment maybe. End of the show. Open the phone lines up. Take callers. If you're joining us on Facebook, you'll notice at the very top, got a welcome to the show with our number listed.
Yeah, JB, when I came in, you were having some technical difficulties, and you said you got that worked out, maybe even upgraded somehow.
Well, yeah, we're working on that. We've got some things in the works here. We might be able to do video streaming via Listen to My Radio on the app there also. So that'll be something for the future.
That'll be nice.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Well, I'm going to let you take it from here.
Well, give me just a second. Let me get our guy on the line, okay?
All right. JB is going to bring in Adam Milstead, Millsy of WiffleBallTournaments.com. We talk to Millsy at the top of the show every week. He gives us a complete rundown of what's happening around the country so that everybody can stay on top of the game, get entered and play some ball.
All right. Let's get prepared for Millsy here. We gotta hit him with the spot. Best way to tell the world about your upcoming tournament is Fast Plastic Radio and WiffleBallTournaments.com. WiffleBallTournaments.com is here to help you locate tournaments all over the nation and find the ones closest to home. If you know of any tournaments that we don't have listed, let us know. We're here to help everyone, players and directors alike. Spread the word, WiffleBallTournaments.com. You can contact wiffleballtournaments.com, w2bwiffle@gmail.com, wiffleballtournaments.com. And here he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Millsy. What's going on, Millsy?
Hey, guys. How's it going this week?
It's going pretty good. So what exciting tournaments do we have coming up this weekend?
Yeah, so there's actually a lot going on, so I'll jump right into it. I'll start out with a league play. First up, we have Palisades has week 6, and that's in Blauvelt, New York on Sunday. It's a fast pitch, scuff ball, modified bat. And the game of the week will be on Facebook Live. That's the Expos versus the White Sox at 12:20 p.m. on Sunday. Next up, I have the East Coast Wiffle Ball League, and it's their week 5. That's in Winthrop, Massachusetts on Sunday. It's a fast pitch, scuff ball, modified bat. And the guy running the show, Rob Sutton, I believe is appearing on later tonight, so it'll be interesting to hear more about their league. Next is Wifflemania 34 in Parsippany Troy Hills, New Jersey on Saturday. And that's a medium pitch unscuffed yellow bat tournament. After that, I have the Skokie National Wiffle Ball Tournament in Evanston, Illinois on Saturday. It's a yellow bat unscuffed ball tournament, and my guess is it's probably also medium pitch. And they claim it's an invitational featuring 15 of the quote-unquote Super 20 wiffle ball teams on planet Earth. Next is the Opportunity House Wiffle Ball Tournament at Grumps, and that's in Granbury, Texas on Saturday. My guess is it's a medium pitch unscuffed yellow bat tournament. And the field that they build at Grumps Burger specifically for tournaments like this is actually really cool, so you should check that out on their Facebook. After that is the One Ball Tournament for Testicular Cancer, and I believe it's their 6th annual. That's in Frewsburg, New York on Saturday, and it looks like it's a medium pitch unscuffed yellow bat tournament. Next is the Major League Wifflers 4th Annual Summer Tournament in Frederick, Maryland on Saturday, and that's a fast pitch unscuffed yellow bat tournament. Next is Golden Stick Wiffle Ball Tournament number 4 in Westbury, New York on Saturday. That's a medium pitch scuff ball modified bat tournament, and they usually put their championship game on Facebook Live, so watch out for that. After that is Brew City Wiffle Ball Summer Solstice Tournament, and that's in Milwaukee, Wisconsin on Saturday. That's a fast pitch on the scuff ball, Easton and Louisville Slugger bat run the base tournament. Next is the Slam T1D, which is type 1 diabetes. It's their 8th annual Vermont Summer Classic. That's in Essex, Vermont on Friday. I'm pretty sure it's a medium pitch, unscuffed yellow bat run the base tournament. And it's actually on one of the fields I talked about last week, Little Fenway. Next is the 11th annual Wiffle Ball Jamboree. That's in Davison, Michigan on Thursday, which is tomorrow. And it's a yellow bat unscuffed ball run the base tournament, which probably means it's a medium pitch. And last but not least, I have the Cedar Park Fast Pitch Tournament. That's in Cedar Park, Texas on Saturday. And it's a free entry as long as you pre-register. And the winner actually receives a bid to the Fast Plastic National Championship.
All right, Millsy. Sounds like there's a lot of tournaments going on. We appreciate you calling in as always.
Yeah, I got a question.
Yeah.
I got a question for you, Millsy. This is Bill. So,
Hey, Bill.
Hey, so all these tournaments that you report to us all the time, which style of play do you prefer? I'm just curious. Do you like yellow bats, unscuffed ball? Do you prefer? What's your favorite?
Nah, so I actually like scuff ball tournaments. I tend to play in medium pitch tournaments more than fast pitch, but I think fast pitch just brings a whole new level of play to the game. It's a lot more fun, and it reminds me of my days playing baseball, which starting to turn into a little bit of time ago. So I actually enjoy the fast pitch a lot more.
Well, that's good to know. I was just curious. So appreciate your time, as always.
Yeah, and there's a ton of tournaments this weekend. These are just, I think, 12 I listed of this week. But if you go to wiffleballtournaments.com, you can see there's probably like 100 going on this week.
Absolutely. Make sure you check out that page and get a hold of Millsy if you want to get your tournaments listed. All right, Millsy, appreciate
Absolutely,
it.
Guys. Yeah.
Thanks for calling in.
Anytime. I look forward to next week.
All right, we'll see you next week. Have a good one.
See you guys. Have a good one.
All right, Millsy he's always got a lot of tournaments going on, and it sounds like he had a whole bunch more, but he only highlighted like I guess the better ones or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he said there's like 100, so we'd be here till like 7 a.m. He'd still be going.
We could make one whole show of nothing but tournaments.
It'd be the Energizer Millsy.
That's right. Yeah.
Keeps on going and going. So I hope guys are paying attention, to him reporting these tournaments and taking notes and getting to his website, finding those places to play, like the Cedar Park, Texas tournament. That's going to be a good one. Of course, the Palisades,
absolutely,
Golden Sticks, Yard League. So there's some good ones out there this weekend, guys.
Speaking of good tournaments out there, how about the one coming up on Columbus Day weekend in October in Texas?
Yeah, how about that one? That's the big one.
Yeah, 14 teams already registered for the Texas National, the NCT. I mean,
National Championship Tournament.
Yeah, had a complete brain fart there. I don't know.
It's called the Texas Open NCT this year.
Very good.
I'm melding all these different titles into this one for this 1 year. But yeah, we're looking at 14 teams right now, guys. What's 24 minus 14? Do the math.
I'm going to have to take my shoes off for that, I think.
Well, did you have the 4 R's in school when you went to school?
Yeah, I did.
Reading?
Recess, and recess.
No, it's reading, writing, art, and arithmetic.
Wait a minute. Arithmetic starts with an A.
Well, so does art.
I know.
So anyway, 14 teams, guys. We have 14 teams that are already in. Everybody that has hit us up for that early registration, it is greatly appreciated. We really want to thank you for your support. And I've sent most of you an email telling you that, and we're looking forward to seeing you in Texas. You can still get in on the $100 entry fee, registration fee, and for the rest of June. Then July goes up to $150.
150, huh? 150.
Yeah. So 10 slots remaining. That's it.
Well, it sounds like you need to get registered now if you don't want to be left out.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys up there in Boston, New England, New York, New Jersey that still aren't registered. I know they're coming. They just still haven't registered yet. So I don't know what you're waiting on, guys.
The way I look at it is if you register now, it's $100, right?
Yeah.
So that means if you register now, you're saving $50, which can go towards beer during the tournament.
That's true.
Just throwing that out there.
Starting next week, I'm going full force media blast about this tournament. I've already started a little bit yesterday and then again today through emails and some other actions to get it out there. But I'm looking right now, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, and doing some things. Houston, San Antonio, Austin, and Dallas to get some hardcore guys in. So it's going to fill up quick. All right. What else, JB?
How about the announcement there?
Oh yeah. So this is a good one. So the Friday prior to the Texas Open, that Friday night, we will be doing a home run derby, and I'm very happy to announce that Kevin Babs and I have discussed it and come to an agreement. He is going to sponsor the home run derby. So we've got some pretty good ideas lined up how we're going to operate for that. So just like in the old days when you showed up in Cedar Park, Austin down there for the NCT, we'll be operating the same way. So we'll give away some prizes and some cash to the official Fast Plastic NCT Home Run Derby.
Now, my question, are they going to be using Big Fly's bats for this?
Well, whenever Babs and I get all the details lined up 100%, we're going to get him on the show, and I'm going to let him make that formal announcement.
Very good.
Yeah. So that's going to be exciting.
Absolutely. Going to be a good time there in Texas in October.
Yeah. So last week, JB, our show did pretty well. Do we have any shares out there you want to talk about?
Well, give me a minute here. Let me get down to it. You kind of caught me off guard. And of course, computers just don't move fast anymore.
All right. Well, while you're doing that,
go ahead.
I'm going to say coming up here in a few minutes, we got Sean Steffi coming on. He's going to talk to us about his Mid-Atlantic Wiffle victory this past weekend. Cloud9 took down that tournament. After Steffi, bringing in Rob Sutton, coming in from Boston area, talking about his league, fast pitch wiffle up there. A little bit later in the show, after the 8 o'clock hour, Danny Lanigan, veteran wiffler, coming in, talking about his team and some New York wiffle scene stuff and what he expects this year in Texas. So that's going to be a good discussion.
Absolutely. So shares from last week: Peter Mockabee, Palisades WBL, Jim Dalby, Way Too Beautiful, Will Marshall, and Charlie Berger were our shares for last week. And I'd like to encourage everybody, if you're tuning in and watching, please share this on your page so we can get the word out, okay?
All right.
Well,
anything else? We want to hit up any spots before we get into
we can probably hit some spots here. So let me kill this here, and we'll go into some spots real quick.
Join Wiffle's largest live audience this Sunday when the Expos take on the White Sox. Come on! Dan Virginia Ham Whitener and Tyler T. Wegwegerson take the carpet in what should be a pitching matchup for the ages. Robles, Tim McElrath, and Kayvon will be in the booth to break down the action. Expos, White Sox. Let's go! The Palisades WBL Game of the Week, Sunday at 12:20 p.m. live on Facebook.
Now the pitch. There's a high drive, deep right center, way back. Might be out of here. It's off the wall. 1 run is in. 2 runs are in. A third man scores.
Do you want to hit like a pro? Big Flies, changing the way you play one bat at a time. Handmade, lightweight wood bats, custom designed to individual orders in Chico, California. You can reach Big Flies through Babs Big Flies on Facebook Messenger or simply by calling Kevin 530-513-7371. Big Flies, changing the way you play one bat at a time.
Hey everybody, DP here. Tune in Sundays to the West Coast Wiffle Report live on Blog Talk Radio as we chronicle all things wiffle ball.
You're listening to the Fast Plastic Radio Network.
I am Adam Milstead, and my favorite station is Fast Plastic Radio.
My name is Inigo Montoya, and I listen to Fast Plastic Radio. This is Babs from Chico, California, and Big Flies, and I listen to Fast Plastic Radio.
This is Sylvie Serrano, Oakland, California, and I listen to FP Radio. And Carl Coffey. I'm Jim Balling. I'm from Peoria, Arizona, and The Rock is my favorite wiffle ball network, hands down.
Jared Lamp, founder, owner of Moonshot Bats, Fast Plastic Radio Network.
Fast Plastic Radio Network. It's about the game.
Absolutely about the game. And remember, when you call in, tell us who you are and where you're from and what your favorite station is so we can get you on the air too.
Yeah, even if we're not your favorite station, you can just say, hey, my name is John Smith from Toiletries Plus, and you're listening to Fast Plastic Radio on The Rock 93.5.
Absolutely.
All right. So I heard DP spot there. I didn't see any new shows from him last Sunday, so he must be on vacation.
Well, I saw on his Facebook page where he talked about he was going to have a new spot, a new podcast this
past Sunday. Maybe he took Father's Day off. Who knows?
Yeah, very well could be. Also, I wanted to talk a little bit about Palisades Game of the Week. That's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. Tune in for that Sunday. And also, for those of you that are paying very close attention, you'll notice that there is a line out there, a betting line that's been produced, and it's for all the games in the Palisades League. Check that out. I think Brett has that posted up on his Facebook page. Very interesting, to say the least. So I imagine there'll be some Bitcoin tossing around on that one, maybe.
Didn't Bitcoin tank out?
I don't know, man. I can't keep up with that anymore.
I would say the last I heard it just took a big nosedive, and everybody. I had a friend that had invested a lot in that, and he said he barely broke even when it crashed.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a long time ago, I had FP bucks or something like that I used to make and print out and give it to guys, and then they could use it to enter tournaments, and then I would reimburse the tournament director.
Well, that's pretty cool.
It was a form of sponsorship. Yeah, that lasted, I don't know, maybe 6 to 8 months.
All right. Well, that's maybe something we could come back up with. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get Steffi in here while you're getting him on the line. Let's see. What else have I got here to talk about? Seems like I'm forgetting something. I guess I'll talk a little bit about the MCT. Guys, there's 2 airports you can choose to fly into there in Dallas. There's DFW and Love Field. Love Field's the headquarters for Southwest Airlines. DFW is the headquarters for American Airlines. So some pretty cheap rates, pretty good options there.
America.
Yeah, America.
All right, we've got Sean Steffi on the line right here. How's it going, Sean?
It goes well. And good to be on the best, well, what I think is the best wiffle ball radio network in the nation.
Hey, thank you.
Gracias.
De nada.
All right. Well, we've got Sean Steffi, as JB said, the reigning Texas Open champion and reigning MVP, I might add. And now the current champion of the Mid-Atlantic wiffle ball circuit, currently reigning champ. So I wanted to bring you on, talk a little bit here for a few minutes about the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, the games, a lot of those games, the bigger games were on Facebook, so guys could look in and check it out and see what the competition was like. And there were some pretty good games out there. So the big one, of course, was the championship, you versus Whitener. Was that your first time facing him?
Yeah, I'd seen Dan pitch before in Boston, in that area, during Lou Levesque's draft tournaments, but I had never faced him, and he did not disappoint. He threw incredibly well, good speed on everything. He's going to be an absolute terror next year when he comes to Texas. I know he's got one more year of baseball here, senior year of college, and then after that, I expect him to take whatever team he's on to Final Four or further next year in Frisco.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he's going to be playing more in Mid-Atlantic or somewhere other than in the Palisades League as well. Have you heard any rumors about that?
Well, he's a traveling man, or you should say a traveling Dan. He lives in Virginia, West Virginia. He travels a good way. Puts plenty of miles on that car. And, I'm not sure where his kind of home turf will be in the future once he finishes up college ball, but wherever he goes, he's going to add, he can throw a lot of innings if necessary. He throws hard, he throws controlled, he mixes in changeups. He is a young, be it veteran pitcher from what I saw, and he managed to hold us scoreless for 9 innings.
Yeah, it was, so the championship game, was it 5 innings or 6? I can't remember.
I think it was originally intended to be 5, I want to say, but we kind of ran overboard there, and we ended up playing 10 total.
Wow. So some free wiffle ball, as they were saying on the play-by-play there. So, that's pretty good. When you're in a big game like that, that's a good experience, when you'll remember for quite some time.
It was interesting because, I came that day prepared to throw around that many innings, 15 innings total, and we played our semifinal game on the second field below the main field. Managed to win that and go to the finals, and then we got into that 8th, 9th, 10th inning of the championship game. In between innings, I'd just walk on, kind of beyond dugout and look out over that beautiful York horizon, and it's a beautiful sight if you ever get a chance to play there. Nick Shirey has a really nice setup, and if you get a chance, even if you're not playing, go check it out. It's a beautiful sight to see. Mid-Atlantic Wiffle Ball in York, PA, by the way.
Yeah, it definitely is. I've been there twice. I had a pretty good time. It was tough to beat, permanent setup. Mm-hmm. So, all right. So a couple more questions for you here. So how, in your opinion, how does the 2-strike count affect the hitting, or overall, how does it affect the offense? So you tell me, as an established hitter in this game, when you're facing a pitcher like Whitner or Robles or, some of those better pitchers, what's your take on that?
I think it all depends on mentality, and it's something that you can't really speak to until you actually play a game in that format. Because I remember going into this tournament when I found out about the rule, I said, okay, so every hitter starts off 0-1. That's got to be great for pitching. Well, it does kind of work to the hitter's advantage, I think, because I noticed a lot of folks facing me were swinging first pitch, because immediately as a pitcher, when you're 0-1 to begin with, you want to get to 0-2. If you get to 0-2, you can work 3 balls. You can go up, miss high, miss low, miss in, and still get the out. So I was giving up a lot of first or second pitch hits, because if they work the count to 1-1 just by taking the first pitch, they're still going to gear up. So you're looking at pretty much 2 swings right away to get quick innings, which I think is optimal for that format, which is optimal for only having 2 fields, which is the Mid-Atlantic style as of now. And I think it was a good challenge for me as a pitcher to rethink which hitter is guessing as compared to which hitter has a plan and an approach. If you go back and listen to the live stream, you can hear, I actually think it was I think Dan Whitener mentioned this on his Wifflecast appearance day after the tournament, or maybe 2 days after the tournament, about how they were looking for one specific pitch. And every time I threw that specific pitch, I noticed it was the most hit pitch on the day, which was screwball. So props to them for taking that approach and for recognizing the rules. They were clearly a seasoned Mid-Atlantic Wiffle team, and this was the first time Tim McElrath had played in one at an indoor facility in New Jersey, but this was the first time myself or Ed Packer or even Devin Torres, who was our 4th player that day, had played at that particular location under that rule book. So it was challenging, definitely. It made you consider who's up there to hit and who's up there to work a count, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get it. I'm perfectly on board with that. One thing I noticed playing there, and it's my own fault, but I would be confused on the count many times, so I would fall and get up there, ball 1, next pitch, here it comes, hits the zone. Okay, now I'm 1-1, but then all of a sudden, wait a minute, no, I'm 1-2. I'm like, holy cow, I got to make this adjustment really quick. And I found myself doing that throughout the entire day, and I never could get set thinking, all right, I'm already in the hole, I got to get aggressive. So but like I said, that's on me, it's not on them. So
no, that makes perfect sense, and it definitely amplifies the need to make adjustments, both from a pitching and hitting standpoint, because when you get there and you play your first game at 8:00, I know my team ran into this. You're cold, you're warming up, and you're trying to get ready. And if you face a good pitcher right off the bat, which we did, a young kid from Philadelphia area threw really well against us, and took us to the extra inning until we finally got the hit we needed. But if someone's out there and they're on fire, they can definitely groove a strike and then get you chasing. And I think certain pitchers benefit from that.
So you threw 2 gems there in a row, pretty much. The semifinal especially. That was an awesome game. You want to talk a little bit about that, like what was working, what wasn't?
Sure, absolutely. To set the context for that, we had just played the Stompers in our third round robin game. And when you go to Mid-Atlantic, you're guaranteed 3 games. And it looked like as the day was unfolding that 4 of the teams were going to go either 2-1 or 3-0. And we were in a 2-0 versus 2-0 matchup. We ended up losing on total bases, which, it happens. That absolutely is understandable. And you can't have unending games in a round robin situation, as anybody who's run a tournament knows. You got to keep moving. I personally really wanted to win the playoff game, and I took that kind of on my own shoulders there because I messed up a couple plays on the field and didn't hit very well. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna come out firing in the semifinals because it was a repeat matchup, and I felt really focused and really fresh in a sense that I had full control of my pitches. So that's why the semifinals I think went so well. At least for me personally, I really enjoyed facing off against the Stompers and seeing Jordan. I hadn't faced Jordan Robles in a while, and it came down to the wire that very last inning. We just managed to come out on top, and then we moved back up to the main field for the championship. Connor Young did a great job keeping his ace kind of hidden in the hole, and Dan Whitener took over fresh, no games thrown, and then it went 10 innings, and you can review the live stream if you want to see that, or if you haven't already seen it. It was a pretty epic back and forth.
Yeah, it was. There was quite a bit of action in the game overall, and very entertaining. And of course, when Big Ed Packer stepped in and stroked that ball to deep left center field out into the pines, that was monumental. Did you take a huge sigh of relief after that?
I think I did. I think you can hear me screaming pretty loudly. But I think we were all just making sure, did that ball actually go? Is it going to make it? Because a couple times that day, I know Connor Young hit a ball off me that just kind of died in right field, and Tim McElrath hit a ball to left that just died in left field, and it was a bit of a muggy day. Both teams have been playing since 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, and it was 4 or 5 p.m. in the evening, and it was just it was nice to know that I had the potential to end the game that inning, that I could go out there and find 3 more strikeouts or 3 outs, be it ground out or pop out or whatever, and then we would actually be finished. That was very exciting to have that opportunity. It's just a change of pace after 8, 9 innings of just shutting each other down and killing rallies.
Yeah, so you had a couple new guys on your team that I don't think anybody was expecting. Torres and McElrath out of the Palisades League. Tell me a little bit about how that came about.
Sure. Quick backstory. I met Tim and Ryan McElrath, the brothers McElrath, at a tournament in Trenton, New Jersey, run by a guy Mike Palanzar. They were there with Sean Ryan and Jordan Robles, and they were playing together. And I think that was a summer showdown that year. And that tournament aside, I just knew from past interactions with them, they had mentioned, hey, if you ever want to play together, if you want to play in a tournament together, we could do it. And I said, absolutely, I would enjoy that. It just didn't seem like the timing was ever right. The stars were never aligning. And when my regular Cloud9 teammates couldn't make it, Ed Packer tried a few options, and then he said, well, if you've got anybody in mind, and I said, yeah, I've got 1 or 2. Let me make some phone calls. And Tim McElrath was immediately on board. He really owes a lot of the credit for helping make that day successful, because, if he hadn't been able to come and help by bringing Devin along, it would just have been me and Ed Packer. Although that would have been good for hitting, and potentially we could have scored more sooner. From a fielding perspective, the 2 players we added absolutely saved our bacon so many times. If you look back through the live stream on the championship, there was a couple just faded plays where one time a ball went up the middle, hit the rubber, bounced up in the air, and we made the out. And I had asked for the shift on it, so it worked out. There was a play in about the 2nd or 3rd inning where a ground ball, played off the hips of Tim McElrath up into the air, and Torres ran over, fielded it, made an amazing play, which saved the game, considering I gave up probably my only extra base hit, a triple, later that inning with 2 outs. So I talked to Tim, and his enthusiasm immediately told me he's not going to miss this tournament. Ryan, his brother, was not available, but we eventually landed Devin Torres, who said, yeah, I'll come along. And he was just a joy to play with, both of them. Great players, great guys, and their fielding, especially. I mean, I'm not a very good fielder myself. I pitch and I hit mostly. They were great teammates for the day.
Yeah, it worked out. So was there any any truth to the rumor going around that picked up on it? Norris is having arm issues. Maybe that's why he didn't show up.
That's a beautiful rumor you just created there, Bill. But I'm pretty sure Kevin is just Kevin at this point in time.
Yeah.
I mean, there's another discussion you and I should have someday about who is the greatest player ever. And I know we're not going to agree on it. But I look forward to having that discussion, and I'll bring up Kevin's name because, I mean, he hits incredibly well. He pitches incredibly well. And although we haven't seen his pitching, I'm not going to sleep on it because people slept on me for 2 years. I mean, I went off, got my surgery, didn't play, didn't pitch for 2 years, and now I'm back, thankfully, but by the grace of my father, throwing again. So, I've learned not to sleep on Kevin. It's better to assume he is capable, because the moment you assume he is not, he will get that opportunity and he will show you how good he is at wiffle ball. And I just think he's fine. He's a tactician, that man. He only throws when he wants to throw.
Okay. Well, there you go, guys. Everybody out there thinking that there's possible injury to Kevin Norris and his pitching skills. You just heard it from the so are you officially the team captain, or is Norris on Cloud9?
I think Ed is. I think Ed is our captain, and I manage a little bit, and I do some graphic work for us and whatever. But I believe Ed does all the roster stuff. Our team's odd, where we'll kind of situationally pull certain people in. Like that whole tournament last year in Texas, Ty didn't hit at all until playoffs, and then his average went from 240 to like 650 or something absurd. He batted incredibly well. So any of us can step up and fill just about any role. That's the beauty of our team.
Yeah, that is nice. Okay, well, we was going to have Tim Cook on tonight, and he had to scrap his segment, last minute change for him, but he'll be back next week. He was going to talk a little bit more about the tournament and then his editorial type piece. But any last parting words about the tournament experience overall, Sean?
Sure. I thought about this, the last few days. I enjoyed playing at Mid-Atlantic, and it was a great experience, and not just because we won, because it's nice to know in my home state of Pennsylvania, there are other kind of wiffle habitats like that exist. I mean, Tom Locasio came back for this tournament, played again, and got a picture taken underneath. He's got a sign hanging on that right field at their main park at Sheff Field. So I'd encourage anyone, even if you're not going to come out and play, if you know someone who's playing one of these tournaments or you want to see it, drive and take a look. Drive and come out for the day. I personally have spent many a tournament watching as well back when I was injured, and I'm considering going back just to watch one of these Mid-Atlantic wiffle tournaments because there's something special about it. It's almost that backyard baseball-esque feel. It's that little league feel. It's that classic kind of I'm a kid again when I'm here. And I don't know. I just had the idea that this is kind of the atmosphere I want to be around once a month, once every 2 months, even if I can't play. Because the intensity I find isn't always the answer to let's go play wiffle ball and it'll be intense. Sometimes it's great just to go out and watch wiffle ball and see it played and be outside of the intensity. Do a little filming.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's kind of my ender, my closing piece on Mid-Atlantic.
Very well said. JB, do you have any questions for Sean before we move?
You're going to be at Texas in October?
I'm thinking of skipping it, actually. I don't know. I don't know if the prize is big enough, John King.
All right.
Of course, I'm kidding. I wouldn't miss getting down to Texas and being in Frisco and getting Whataburger and everything about Frisco is just the best experience. Like, I love Mid-Atlantic. Don't get me wrong, but if you have not been to Frisco, Texas to play wiffle ball, and you have not met Jonathan King, you need to get yourself down there because it is the most incredible experience, hands down.
Yeah, we're definitely going to go get some Whataburger. You got my mouth watering already. So. And JB, was that spot Sean gave there at the opener, was that good for soundbite, or you need to get something better?
Yeah, let's try it. Let's try another one here.
If he's all right, let's hear it.
What do you need from me? You need my name, where I'm calling from, and what's my favorite radio network, right?
That's right.
I am Sean Wiffle Boy Steffi calling from the woods in Pennsylvania, and the Fast Plastic Radio Network is my favorite wiffle ball network on the air.
All right, that'll work, Sean. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, guys. Have a good night.
You too. All right. Well, that was a good interview, and I think the first one might be better. I'll just have to go back and double check him and listen and see what it sounds like.
You never know. You may use both.
Very well may. Very well.
Yeah.
Hey, we're ahead of schedule too.
That's great. That is great. Let me think here. What am I trying to find? Something I was going to bring up. See, he talked a little bit about Connor Young.
Mm-hmm.
He faced off against Connor in the championship game. Connor's be on the show next week, JB.
Oh yeah, well,
yeah.
He's watching right now. He's been commenting on some stuff here on Facebook. So.
Yeah, that should be a great discussion with him. Get his take on what's going on. Up in the Northeast. He plays a lot, maybe as much, if not more, than anybody currently, and he's a great player. Young, got his whole wiffle career in front of him. So I'm interested to pick his brain.
Yeah. I think it'll be a good call. Absolutely.
And then, like I said, Tim Cook will be back next week with his piece. So
I bet it'll be a good one. I know last week he had a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet it'll be good.
What was he talking about last week? Junk automobiles or car doors or something?
Yeah, something along that line.
All right. And later on, stay tuned, guys, because I'm going to go off on something that everybody seems like has an opinion on. I'm going to throw in my 1,000 pesos.
1,000 pesos.
Yeah. So you got anything burning here we need to get into?
Well, no, but we can take a break real quick. When we come back, we'll have Rob Sutton, the East Coast Wiffle League, on from Boston. So stick around. We'll be back here momentarily on the Fast Plastic Radio Network.
You're listening to the Fast Plastic Radio Network. Fast Plastic Radio Network.
Join Wiffle's largest live audience this Sunday when the Expos take on the White Sox. Come on! Dan Virginia Ham Whitener and Tyler T. Wegwegerson take the carpet in what should be a pitching matchup for the ages. Robles, Tim McElrath, and Kayvon will be in the booth to break down the action. Expos, White Sox. Let's go! The Palisades WBL Game of the Week, Sunday at 12:20 p.m. live on Facebook.
Burl's Chainsaw Shop. Tired of your mama's steak knives? Use a chainsaw by Burl for all your ball stuffing needs. It's faster. Immediate medical transport. Lost a finger? Need stitches? Get to the emergency room fast. Now serving 32 states. Don't let bad ball prepping disasters ruin your game. Use immediate medical today.
Fast Plastic Radio Network. It's about the game.
And we're back here on the Fast Plastic Radio Network. You know, I got a good question. Now, does immediate medical transport, do they provide service in Texas?
How many? 32 states?
Yeah, 32. I don't know if that's one of their states. I didn't know if they'd be doing a standby at the Texas Open.
Well, you know, Texas is a whole nother country.
Oh, yeah, I know. I was just curious.
Well, maybe there's franchising opportunities in Texas if they don't exist.
And we need to find out, does Burl Does he have a shop in Texas too? That they, there might be some ballers that want to go buy burls.
I will be looking into that because we're still going to work out that 21 chainsaw salute to open the tournament up.
Absolutely.
So what is it you're watching over there, JB?
Well, yeah, I'm going to tell you, I've been a little distracted here during Sean's call. I've been watching the Leroy Wiffle. They're live right now on Facebook, and I've been over here kind of chuckling to myself about it because it's I don't even know how to describe it. It's really sad. My God, that guy is huge.
Let's be nice now, JB.
I know, but I'm just saying, I don't even know how to describe this.
Well, let me start and say something first. You've been on a tear with these guys.
I know.
Last week he went off on them. But I got to say, they do have a decent-looking field. They're out there playing some good ball. I'm really happy to see that. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
There could be worse things going on, but thumbs up to Leroy Wiffle for getting out there, consistently playing.
Seems like they're playing every Wednesday.
Yeah, well, league night. What else you going to do? Bowl? Go bowling?
Oh, I guess so. I will say that their pitching has improved from when I first started watching earlier in the season.
Cracks me up that I'm always looking over. I'm looking to see if you're doing technical things, and you've got Leroy Wiffle.
Okay, I'm busted. Okay, yeah. So, all right. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's get Rob Sutton on the horn here. Okay.
Yeah. Cedar Park, Texas this weekend, guys. Tim Dean's got a big tournament going on. Winner of that tournament advances to the Texas Open Fast Plastic NCT in October. I'm looking forward to hearing how that goes down. Tim Dean will come on next week and give us a quick rundown. And like I said, Connor Young coming on next week. So anybody have any beefs with Connor, send me an email, fastplasticnct@gmail.com, and I'll try to hit him up and see what he has to say.
All right, we've got Rob Sutton on the line here. How's it going, Rob?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me on.
Hey, no problem, Rob. We're glad you've joined us. Have you ever watched the Leroy Wiffle?
I haven't. I've heard of it and everything. I haven't seen a game.
Okay. Well, I got busted. I've been watching him here while we're doing the show, and so I've had some good laughs off of it. So we'll get on with the interview, Bill.
Yes, he has. JB's on.
Well, now that you're talking it up, I'll have to take a look.
Well, Rob, thanks for coming on. This is kind of exciting to get you on the show and introduce everybody and introduce you to the country. And so you currently running the East Coast Wiffle Ball League, correct?
That's correct. Yep.
And tell us exactly where you're located.
So we're located in Winthrop, Mass, which is only a couple miles outside of Boston. If you actually look at like our cover photo on our Facebook page, you can see where the field is. Then there's Boston Harbor, and then there's the city. So we're like right outside the city.
Yeah, that is quite a spectacular field there that you have set up. I think maybe have seen one spectacular view that tops that on the field out in San Diego. And of course, the York field at Nick Shire's is really nice as well. But man, that one you have there, that's very impressive, I have to say.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. We have two fields. They're each about 1.5 miles from each other, same town and everything. And it's funny because this field that you're talking about, I was a little bit kind of gun shy about when we got the permits for, because it's right on the water. We're a couple hundred feet from Logan Airport, and it's always super, super windy down there, which we know is not conducive for wiffle ball. So I was a little bit nervous about it. And of our 10 dates, we have 3 of them at that field and 7 at the other one. So, but it's turning out, like you said, it's really kind of a beautiful setup, and everyone likes it. So I'll take note of that for the future.
Yeah, please do. Because I think there's going to be a lot of guys coming your way. and I'll be happy to send everybody I can your way. I wanted to talk a little bit about your wiffle ball playing background, and I know when you and I talked earlier, you know, you have a little bit of a baseball career too. So you want to tell us, I guess, start off your early days of wiffle?
Yeah. So really, I guess it goes back to the early 2000s. Like when I was in early in high school, even late middle school, I was running a league between friends and everything, and that was back in 2001. And we were a one-on-one league that we played on cement on our streets. And it wasn't traditional, fast pitch or anything. It was just kind of whatever, because we really didn't know that was a thing yet. So then after 2001, we doubled in size. We only had 3 people. It was just immediate friends of mine. So we doubled from 3 to 6, maybe even 7 within 1 year. And, it blew up. For what it was, it blew up. We kept every stat imaginable. So we went from, playing like 10 games or so each in 2001. And next year we were playing, 35, and we would have, 400 at bats. And it got, super serious. And we even kind of parlayed it into a split season where the second half of the summer we played what we called a travel season, where like everyone had their own fields and everything that we would play at. So, one day it would be at somebody else's house, and the next game would be at their house and everything. So it was a pretty cool feel to it. And that lasted, we had that up until 2004, was our last season. We were getting a little bit older. And it was just getting tough to get everybody together. Other sports are getting in the way, life, girlfriends, we know how that goes. And it was tough to keep everything together. And then, through those gap years, if you want to call it that, I would play in some like small tournaments, just local, nothing too big or anything. And, kind of always keep it on the back burner. And then I had shoulder surgery in 2009, so that kind of derailed that's summer and everything. So as I've kind of gotten older, have more resources as an adult now, had a small tournament back in 2016 in town to help fundraise for the local Little League, and then here we are 2018 where I'm trying to get the league off the ground again and kind of just bring it back is kind of how I think of it.
Yeah, that's very good. So the style of play is very similar to the Fast Plastic rule book, because as I was looking at your field, I mean, to me, it looked like perfect, perfect spec, everything, the setup, the lines, very well defined. So you're not too far off, or if at all. And I'm kind of curious about the level of competition that you're seeing currently in your league.
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
So sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, is it? Have you got a core of baseball-minded players going right now?
Yeah, and that's a good point. Yeah, that's pretty much kind of how I'd sum it up. I think myself and my buddy Dave Siegel, we kind of brought it up together, sort of thing, and me and him kind of go back to playing wiffle. We've been friends for a while, but go back to about 2007, kind of playing together. So the two of us, I guess, have the most, experience, so to speak. But all of us are athletes, so we either have like a baseball background. And it's funny, another friend of mine who's playing, he's new to wiffle ball, really never played before, but he was a Division I pole vaulter, actually. So he's super athletic, and he's only been playing, this summer, and he threw a no-hitter last week, and he's second in the league in batting average right now. So he's picking it up pretty fast. But I think in year one with us too, it's about getting bodies in, more or less like teaching. Teaching is not a good word, but kind of getting everybody, kind of in love with the game again, or for the first time maybe. you know, and like I have a good baseball background too, not necessarily playing. I played at a small D3 college around here, but I worked in baseball for a long time as a strength and conditioning coach. So I have a lot of friends, a lot of people I know that are big baseball guys that don't necessarily have a baseball background. So trying to introduce that to them, and yeah, just kind of spread, and hopefully they catch the bug like I have, you know.
Yeah, I think they will. I mean, like I said, your field is a huge draw, and once guys get out and play on a well-detailed setup, I mean, it's hard not to come back, especially if you're competitive, you know, and you're playing with some good rules. So can a new guy show up and get involved in the league, or is there some kind of a registration process? How does that work?
Yeah, definitely. So right now we're running at about only 6 players or so. So we don't have currently, like as we speak, we don't have set teams like on a given week. So when everyone comes, we split up the teams and everything. So the more people we can get in, I'm waiting for that very moment to say, okay, we have enough set the teams, and I'll do it this week if we have to. You know what I mean? So I want to get set teams down. So yeah, I'm welcoming, you know, anyone that's interested in playing in and around the New England area. So yeah, definitely get in touch with me. All I've been doing as far as like cost goes, it's only $20 the entire summer. So it's cheap, it's simple. You know, like I said, I want to kind of get people in and yeah, take it from there.
Yeah, definitely. If you're a player in that area and you're looking to get some hacks in, you know, throw a little bit, get tuned up for Texas, that'd be a great place to go and get involved. How would a guy get a hold of you? Have you got a website that you can send guys to, Facebook, something like that?
Yeah, definitely. So if anyone's interested, you can email me at info@eastcoastwbl.com. And then for Facebook and Instagram, you can either search East Coast Wiffle Ball League, or you could type in facebook.com/East Coast Wiffle Ball. And then Instagram, same @East Coast Wiffle Ball. And like I said, I'm welcoming anybody. And, you know, my big thing with the fast pitch game, and I'm sure you guys can attest to this too, is I want to keep it as close to baseball as possible. You know, like whether you're playing the game or watching the game, I want it to resemble a baseball game, you know, because that's just where my passion is, and that's, you know, what I want to kind of recreate, the mental strategy, the physical strategy. You know, I'm a real egghead when it comes to that. So that's who I want to attract too, you know, like the guys that are obviously really into it and, you know, take it serious.
Right. You're looking what we call the pro players, or it used to be back in the day, the touring pros. Yeah. I think that term pro originated possibly from the NJWA. He ran the highest competition tier of his tournaments was called the pro division. And I think, you know, we've kind of latched onto that for a long time, but that's what you're looking for. You're looking for the touring pros that are trying to recreate that pitcher versus hitter baseball mentality strategy that exists, where it's, you know, like I say, gets the juices flowing. Now, you're not running bases, are you?
No, we're not.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay. You talked a little bit about that you had a baseball background and that you had to have some shoulder surgery. Was that because of throwing, or what?
Yeah, I think when you trace it back, just kind of an overuse sort of thing. Yeah, I had surgery on my bicep tendon and labrum in 2009. So went through that whole rehab. Came back the next year. Felt pretty good for the most part. I didn't have the same kind of endurance. I was a pitcher. And then like 2011 was my senior year in college, and just kind of, I don't know, I think things kind of came back around again. And I hindsight, I wasn't as diligent on the rehab process as I was right after the surgery. So just little things kind of crept back into my elbow and whatnot. But classic saying, I mean, if I knew then what I knew now, who knows, you know, if things would have been different. But arm feels pretty good now. With my training background and specifically baseball players, I've really kind of tried to bulletproof my shoulder since then. So if anyone needs any info on that too, I'm more than happy to help on that aspect too.
So I'm curious about something. I had this discussion about a week ago with a guy, but I'm curious to hear your take on this. You hear a lot of little league, grade school, even on up into high school coaches that try to say that don't throw a wiffle ball, you'll destroy your arm. What's your take on that? Do you buy into that? Is there something to that?
I think it's tough. I think there's always exceptions to every rule and whatnot. I think there's definitely something to it. You know what I mean? It's funny. Like if you were to look at, say, my career and like add up like throws or innings or whatever in baseball, but no one's going to look at the 400 something innings I've thrown in wiffle ball. You know what I mean? So that's just added stress on your arm over time and everything. And it's hard to say, right? Like a baseball weighs 5 ounces and, wiffle ball is like what, a fifth of that or something. So it's probably not great, but it's one of those things. If you can, either stay strong around it and everything, I guess the end answer is it might hurt some people, it might not others, but if you take care of yourself, your odds are going to be a lot higher to stay healthy.
Yeah, I would like to one day hear, I ruined my wiffle ball career from throwing a baseball.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I've made jokes about it, saying that, I'm doing my wiffle ball weighted ball program, which is a baseball,
Yeah, right.
And I've even had the discussion recently about, does swinging a wiffle ball bat mess up your swing too? Same difference. And, I think, again, going back to like when I was younger, I'm not so sure. I think in a sense, like playing a fast pitch game helped my hand-eye coordination, as far as tracking pitches and stuff like that. Sure, the bat's lighter and everything, but speeds and everything are all the same, if not faster,
Mm-hmm.
So, I wouldn't go as far to say that, that absolutely helped me, but I don't know if it hurt me the way that like the what's out there says, oh, that'll kill your swing, that'll kill your arm,
Yeah.
We know in general throwing a baseball, throwing a wiffle ball is not good for you. That's 100% fact. It's just, can you, withstand and can you stay strong through all of that,
Yeah, you're right. So, thanks for coming on, Rob. It's good talking to you. It's good to know that we've got a guy up there keeping the fast pitch going in the heartland, so to speak, for this sport. And you and I are going to be talking quite a bit over the next couple weeks. I'm kind of excited about that. And I'm here to support you, and send guys your way and stay updated on your league. So before you get off the air here, you got to give us the sound bite. If you give us your name, your league you're in, and tell us that you're listening to the Fast Plastic Radio Network, if you don't mind.
All right. This is Rob Sutton from the East Coast Wiffle Ball League, and I listen to the Fast Plastic Radio Network.
Very good.
Yeah, very good, Rob.
Boom.
Well, thanks for coming on the show tonight, Rob. Like I said, you and I will be talking. Guys, if you've got any questions for Rob, give him that email address, contact information one more time.
Yeah, definitely. So email is info@eastcoastwiffleball, or sorry, scratch that. info@eastcoastwbl.com. And then on Facebook and Instagram, you can either type it in, East Coast Wiffle Ball League, or Instagram @East Coast Wiffle Ball.
All right. Thanks again.
Have a good night, Rob.
Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
All right. Rob Sutton, East Coast Wiffle League.
Winthrop, Massachusetts.
Oh, yes.
Have you ever been there?
No, never been there. I've heard of it, but I've never been there.
I'm not sure if I've been there or not. Can't remember. Been around in that part of the country, but not sure. Well, coming up, we got Danny Lanigan coming up in
very, very soon.
Yeah.
Actually.
So,
and speaking of that, you know what's coming up right now?
What's that?
Do you have a shirt that you really love?
You caught me off guard there, JB.
I got you. It's a shirt of the week. You're on the Fast Plastic Radio Network. So what do you got for us, Bill?
I've got this bright red, nice jersey. This was from an organization I've talked about quite a bit called Yardball, that was driven by Major League Baseball. The late Pat Vitale created the ball and the bat that was used for this. Again, late 90s. I think the last year may have been 2000 for this. And this is actually the trophy that you receive for winning a Yardball tournament. And I think I won this in San Diego. So let me give you an up close shot.
Oh, yeah. Nice jersey. Can't really make out the sleeve, though.
So anyway, that's not bad. There's a few guys that have these around the country from winning some of these. These were huge tournaments, base running, time limits on the game, 90-degree fields, and somewhat competitive. The national championship for it in the final year was held in Miami, Florida. Everybody was flown down there to compete, and it was
all right.
Right after a hurricane.
After a hurricane, huh? Wow. All right. Well, we've got Danny Lanigan on the line. Danny, welcome to the Fast Plastic Radio Network.
Hey, guys. Good evening. How's everybody doing?
We're doing great. How about you?
Pretty good. You called me at the perfect time. I actually just got in. I haven't listened to any of the show, but I definitely will download it and listen to it tomorrow to see what I missed. You guys are doing a great job with this. It's been very entertaining.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Sometimes JB's a bit hard to control, but with everybody's help out there, we can manage.
Well, he makes you sound pretty good, Bill. So I don't know. I knew you for about 17 years before I found you to be this interesting. So.
Yeah, that's true. I got to watch my P's and Q's on here and actually speak English most of the time. So Danny, you got your team registered finally for the Texas Open. Usual suspects. Pretty exciting that you guys are back. So I just want to start off and have you tell us a little bit about that team.
Yeah, I'm excited too, Bill. I'll just tell you the roster real quick. Ryan Wood, who, most people know. Scott Alford, also a guy that, a lot of people probably know. Scott and Ryan I've been playing with Scott and Ryan since 2006 and Scott since 2008. As far as Fast Plastic goes, in 2008, Ryan, Scott, and myself, along with Fred Bacito, came in third, losing the heartbreaker to 603 in the semifinals. Since 2008, we've usually had Mike Chimay as our fourth guy. We won the national championship with him as our fourth in Arizona in 2010 when Lou ran the Golden Six tournament circuit the first year without Fast Plastic. But Mike has other commitments that weekend, so he can't make it. So we picked up a guy from the Palisades League by the name of Johnny Costa. I guess he goes by Johnny Whiffle. Johnny Whiff.
Johnny Whiff's
his Facebook name. Johnny Whiff, which is a pretty cool name. But I guess when you play with Whiff Man in the Palisades League, you have to have a cool nickname. So we picked him up to be our fourth. Everything I've heard about him, he's not exactly a newcomer. He's been playing Palisades for a while. He actually grew up with one of my cousins in Madison, New Jersey, one of my cousins who now plays in the Pittsburgh Pirates organization. They graduated high school together. I met him at my cousin's graduation party a few years back. But apparently he's a hell of a player, and we're really excited to have him as our fourth guy.
So how many innings do you plan to get in with those guys?
Well, I only threw like 2 innings last year, so I should be good for 2 times the amount I'm normally good for. But with a young guy like Johnny Whiff, who's eager to make his stamp in Texas, hopefully I won't have to throw as many as I'm accustomed to.
Yeah. What are you expecting out of Ryan Wood? Is he the Ryan Wood of 2006, 2007, or is he the Ryan Wood of 2000? What can we expect there, Danny?
I think somewhere, the window you gave me is a pretty long time ago. If I have anything close to the Ryan Wood of 2000, 2006, 2010, I can tell you one thing that I'm super excited about, which is something that I really haven't been able to be in regards to this in quite some time. For the last however many years, Ryan wasn't exactly motivated and easy to get to commit to something. He wasn't easy to get to play, to pitch. Scott Alford, sometimes Scott's a police officer in New York City, and I felt like sometimes Scott would have to go to his house with the squad car and put Ryan in the back seat to get him to a tournament. But I don't know what it is. About a month ago, Ryan just got the itch against a fast pitch, and called me up. He's like, "Hey, let's go to Texas. Let's train." He's been throwing, he's been hitting. I haven't heard Ryan this motivated in quite a long time, and I know that he would never go there unless he was going to commit himself and really and try to put himself in the position that you would be familiar with, where he was like 2000, 2006, 2010 Ryan Wood.
Yeah, quite the player. A lot of guys I've talked to over the years, have always mentioned his name, up there with the best, one of the best of all time, definitely. So that's got to be huge, man.
Well, if you ask him, he is the best. So
yeah, of course.
He's never lacked confidence.
Yes, that's the way it's got to be, right?
Absolutely.
So who would be the best player you've ever had as a teammate, Danny? You played with a lot of guys over the years.
Yeah, I've been really fortunate that I have played with a lot of guys that I would, would you say the best player or the best teammate?
Just looking at their playing careers, I would say the best player, I guess there's a couple ways to look at it. The best player at that specific moment or the best player overall for their playing career. So either way, whichever you want to comment.
I would look, I played with Joe Nord. I don't think the best Joe Nord was, I guess, 2003, 2004, 2005. I started playing with him in 2006 through 2008, where he was still, Joe Nord came to a Yard League tournament a few weeks ago in New York. Hasn't played wiffle ball in over 4 years. And, we would we thought we were doing him a favor to play with us that day. But by like the third game, he was our best hitter. He went from batting last to leading off. So Joe Nord is just an incredible player, a dynamic player. I think he's probably the best competitor I've ever played with. But in terms of talent, performance, peak level, I would have to say it's Ryan. In 2006, that Saturday night was kind of his coming out party against the Vipers and Jim Ballion. I still, watched the video that Troop made. That Ryan was really the highlight of that video, the one with all the pitchers, and also hitting bombs that night, also against Ballion. And then 2010, when I was with Ryan in Arizona, the Saturday night to get into Sunday, he pitched against Sylvie and the O-Bombers, and they made contact one time in the game on a short ground ball right in front of the line. That was the only contact they made. And then he gave up one hit to the Ultimate Whipplers, which was Ryan Foley and those guys. He gave up one hit in 2 games. He was unhittable that night and, ridiculous with the bat as well. So to answer your question, as thoroughly as I can, I would say it's Ryan Wood.
Okay, yeah. But I know there's a guy who's not known as a pitcher, but he's sitting somewhere in New Jersey right now. And I have to say,
I know where you're going with this one.
There's a couple of those Jersey guys you played with, but there's one, Jay Van Treska, maybe one of the greatest hitters I've ever seen sitting out there. He's a great guy, great player, great hitter. Not much of a pitcher, but he'd be tough to pass up. Didn't you play with Palanzar too at some point?
I'm sorry, who was the other guy you mentioned?
Palanzar, way back.
You know, I played with Palanzar towards the end. I maybe even played against you or at a tournament you were at. I played with him in St. Louis at a couple of those Whistle Up St. Louis's, which were, you know, that was just an experience being there. I heard you talk about it a couple of weeks back with Valiant, I believe. And I played with him in a Wiffle Up in Chicago. We won one of those, and maybe one or two other times. But, you know, I played with Freddie Bastido. But Dave Francesca, I actually texted him this morning to see if, you know, because I haven't seen him. He wasn't at the last Long Island Yardley tournament to see if he had any plans for Texas yet. And he didn't even know the date. Jay's not a big social media guy. So if anybody's out there, I may regret, you know, announcing this. Jay Francesca is probably the best hitter out there right now. It's not committed to go to Texas. You may want to give him a call. And I can tell you right now, you know, Jay Francesca and Scott Alford, you're not going to get two better teammates. I've been fortunate to play with both of them. As far as being a teammate, Jay Francesca and Scott Alford are the best two guys out there.
Yeah, definitely. Jay Francesca, free agent. I know somebody right now that's going to call him. I know who it is. I'm not going to say his name, but as soon as he hears this, he's going to be tracking Jay down.
Well, we got to get a finder's fee for that, though.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, so all that's some pretty good discussions. I mean, we go on for days about, you know, the best player out there. Those names were great. I have to agree with you. But let's shift back here to Texas. So tell me what you're expecting from Texas this year, Danny. You've been to a lot of tournaments. You've been to a lot of the NCTs. You played in the championships. What are you expecting this year?
Yeah, I haven't missed one since, you know, when people ask me if I'm going to Texas, it's kind of like, you know, is the sun going to come up tomorrow? Of course I'm going to be there. I haven't missed one since my first infamous trip to Texas in 2004. So I would never miss it. I already know Texas 2019 is on my girlfriend's 30th birthday. So I'm going to have to make sure I plan a big surprise party the week before. So I'm off the hook for Texas 2019, assuming it's Columbus Day weekend. But my expectation is really to, you know, for the tournament itself, I expect it to be a step up from last year in terms of participants and competition level being higher because it was, you know, at a pretty high level. And I think almost every year I've been to a national tournament, competition level, no matter if we have 12 teams or 35 teams, competition level is always insane. But I expect a good mix of veterans, you know, like myself, like, you know, the GSWs out there, the Las Vegas, which I was excited to see they committed today, combined with, you know, the newer guys, the Connor Youngs and the My Name is Earl type teams. You know, it's good to see some Palisades guys who I'm not that familiar with because I've never had I've never played in their league. But it's good to see some of those guys jumping aboard. And obviously there's a pretty big pool of talent within the state of Texas. And I can't imagine them doing anything but getting better because, you know, they'll probably be the most prepared for it because it seems like they're playing the most amount of fast-pitch wiffle ball, and it always helps having it in your backyard.
Absolutely. I talk to Jonathan King once a day, sometimes 5 times a day, just random things. A lot of it's wiffle ball, and he's updating me on the Texas wiffle ball scene. And he's telling me that these young kids that were at the Open last year, they've grown a few inches. They're throwing the ball harder. Their command is there. And he says, he goes, Billy, you won't believe it. He is super excited about that. So that excites me that we're going to see these young kids from Texas at the Texas Open this year. And I expect them to dominate some of the better hitters. So that's pretty cool. I wish it would have been like that when I lived in Texas back years ago. I really worked to try.
You may have never left.
What's that?
Maybe you wouldn't have left.
Yeah, exactly. I'd still be there. Right. I actually ran tournaments at my house there for a couple of years and would pull some players in, but nothing like what they got going now. So that's what happens when you get old, Danny.
Tell me about it.
All right, let's shift now. Let's go back up there to New York. You still in Staten Island?
I am. Been in Staten Island 34 years now.
34 years. How's the fast pitch scene up there these days from your standpoint? Is it hanging on? Is it thriving? What needs to be done to improve it? Just give us a little bit feedback on that.
It's extinct. It's definitely extinct. I mean, Yard League is thriving in Long Island, which is, a short drive from me. We have our medium pitch nationals, the Yard League Nationals here in Staten Island at my hometown field, Staten Island Little League, where I grew up every August. But there really isn't any fast pitch. The last Yard League tournament, not the last one I was at, there was definitely a buzz because of the anticipation and the excitement for those that are interested in Texas. And there were guys on side fields, waiting for their games, breaking out loco bats, stepping behind the mound, the shortened Yard League mound, throwing fast pitch, because guys, they know what's going to happen in October, and they're anxious and they're excited to be there. And there was some chatter about having a standalone fast pitch event at some point in the summer. So that may happen. I think Rob Landreau, could talk more about it than I can. But there definitely is a buzz, but I don't. There is no fast pitch to speak of besides the chatter.
Yeah, you would have to go to Palisades, which is, what's that, 50 miles north of where you are, something like that?
I don't think it's that far. Yeah, Palisades is one option.
Yeah.
And with that, it's look, that league is doing very well, and what they do with multimedia and social media is super impressive. Definitely a fan of that. It's tough for a guy like me or somebody that's traveling, and it's easy to say. God, Dave Fisher travels 4 hours there. You go there, you play 1 or 2 games. It's a league format. I always felt like that was tougher to draw a guy who's going to have to travel, and that's one of the reasons why I've kind of never really gotten that involved. Nick Syrie's tournament, Mid-Atlantic Wiffle, who obviously is doing spectacular. They had the biggest event last weekend. That's 3 hours for me. That's actually the same town I went to college in. I went to one of those last year with my brother and my buddy. Unfortunately, the schedule didn't work out for me to go this year, but that's really, the only fast pitch, so to speak, of Palisades and Mid-Atlantic in the Northeast.
Well, we're going to rebuild it. What do you say? Can it be done?
Listen, I would hope so. As long as there's Texas at the end of the road, people are going to jump on jump in. At least guys like me, But the issue, and this is a problem that everybody thinks they have the answer to, and everybody thinks it's so difficult to figure out how do we turn the time machine back to 2004, where you're going to, Kevin Kane's tournaments in South Plainfield, New Jersey, and there's 24 teams one weekend, and then the following weekend you're going to Tom Lucasio's in Deer Park, Long Island, and there's 24 there. If we all had the answers to that time machine, not only would we definitely, put them into motion. I would love to also have my arm from 2004 back, but that's another story. Listen, it can be done. We need a new wave, a new crop of younger players, like I was at 20 years old in 2004. And I hope it's done because, those were the golden years of fast pitch wiffle ball. But I'm super excited to at least have what we have because, that Texas 2004 to 2009, with 2009 having an asterisk attached to it, nothing was better. And 2017 was, the best we've had, the closest we've had to that in a long time. I'm really excited for Texas 2018.
Yeah, I agree with everything, except I just need you to say, yes, Bill, it can be done.
Yes, Bill, it can be done. Keep on keeping on.
If you build it, they will come.
Yeah, there you go, JB. I've heard that somewhere. I would recommend, Danny, you get a hold of your old buddy, DP Jim Dalby. And he's doing these nostalgia type podcasts where he likes talking about, different aspects of the history of the game. You should talk to him about your 2004, your first NCT experience. I didn't want to get into it tonight, but if he doesn't want to do that, then I'm going to get you back on the show, obviously, a couple more times before Texas time. And I want to talk about that a little bit because that was kind of an embarrassment for Fast Plastic. You know, the format was strange that year, and it was too bad that you guys, that's the way it went. But that's a very interesting story, to say the least.
I have that story, and my first, which I haven't mentioned to you, my first Wiffle Up World Finals in 2000, which was my first year in competitive wiffle ball. That's also an interesting experience. That was my first step into a national tournament, and that it wasn't as far away as Texas, but it also went just as unsuccessful. But yeah, I'll definitely speak to Jim about that. And I've actually listened to a few of his throwback podcasts, Bill, and one of them you were involved in. And one of the things that happened, basically, he's replaying every inning of the audio from the 2007 National Championship game. Are you aware of this?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, pretty cool.
And yeah, it was pretty painful for me, as you would probably imagine, to listen to. But you know, I told him afterward, if I had known then what I know now. I talked about the time machine being able to throw as pain-free as I did in 2007. The one thing that you definitely gain with time and wiffle ball is you get a lot smarter. So looking back and listening to some of those pitches I was throwing in 2007, no wonder things went the way they went.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear some of his podcast release when they come out. It's going to be exciting. So to close out here, you up for giving us a soundbite, Danny?
Yes, my name is Danny Lanigan of The Usual Suspects from Staten Island, New York, and my favorite radio station is Fast Plastic Radio.
Awesome.
Great job, Danny. Great interview. Thanks for coming on. And like I said, you can expect to be back on at least a couple more times before Texas, so be prepared.
I'm always ready, Bill. It's a pleasure, JB. Hopefully we could JB, will you be at the Texas Open?
Well, I am planning on it, and hopefully it'll work out.
So it'll be nice to meet you there because you do a great job with this. I can't wait to see everybody in Texas, especially those maniacs from Georgia doing the play-by-play. I was really excited about that last week.
All right.
Yep, right on. Have a good night, Dan.
Have a good one, Dan.
As D-Pay would say, good night now.
All right, Danny Lanigan. Great call there. Great call.
Yeah, very good. He's got a lot of knowledge, a lot of history of the sport.
Yeah, he does.
He big part of it for a long time.
So next week, big show.
Yeah, like I said, Tim Dean's going to check in with us, tell us about his big tournament coming up this Saturday. The young, fiery, controversial Connor Young coming on the show.
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
I got to bat against Connor last year. It was a pretty good game. Good to see it. Good to bat against a guy that can throw like he can. Pretty exciting. Gets the juices flowing. All right, let's see, JB. What else do I need to get in here? I covered that. That's done. Let's see.
We're right on schedule. We need to take a break, and we'll come back. All right, so don't go anywhere.
Fast Plastic Radio Network. It's about the game.
Camacho's Kazoo. Call Camacho's today and learn the kazoo. 1-800-2-KAZOO.
Join Wiffle's largest live audience this Sunday when the Expos take on the White Sox. Come on! Dan Virginia Ham Whitener and Tyler T. Wegwegerson take the carpet in what should be a pitching matchup for the ages. Robles, Tim McElrath, and Kayvon will be in the booth to break down the action. Expos, White Sox. Let's go! The Palisades WBL Game of the Week, Sunday at 12:20 p.m. live on Facebook.
This is Ed Packer, defending Texas Open champion, and you're listening to 93.5 WROC The Rock, home of Fast Plastic Radio.
And it's definitely the home, and he is the defending champion.
You know what else I heard?
What's that?
I heard Ed Packer is also the defending champion for KFC chicken eating.
Really?
That's what I've heard.
A professional
what do they call those? Packer, is that true? We need to know. Inquiring minds here.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, what else, JB? Anything else burning? I like to say, you've got any burning issues we got to get knocked out?
No, I don't have anything over here on my sheet. What about you? I see you had a stack of stuff when you came in here. So
cue it up. It's time.
All right, here we go.
Well, JB, we have a letter.
A letter?
We have a letter.
Somebody actually wrote a letter.
So let me get into this. You ready?
Absolutely.
Dear Fast Plastic, first of all, let me say FP is the best thing to ever happen for the game. I think that it really allows everyone to stay on top of the latest happenings in the sport. But now on to why I'm writing. I am frustrated. You may ask, why? Why are you frustrated? Because of the recent influx of teams combining with other teams to make powerhouses. Whatever happened to forming a team with your buddies and rising to the top? 2 years ago, only a handful of combined squads existed. Now it seems in order to be competitive, guys must combine in order to win. I, for one, think that this is not good for the game. If this trend continues, the sport will lose the majority of its new up-and-coming teams and players because of these dominant 10 or so combined teams. I'm not complaining because I feel this will affect me, or it will not affect me. In fact, when my team gets a placement in a tournament and beats a few of these teams, it will be sweet, sweet victory to know we did it as an original team. And to close, I would like to say this. I have nothing against any of the players doing this, and I do respect them all. An obvious reason for doing this is the cash prizes, the payouts. And if at these early stages of the sport, money is so important, I do see the demise of the game we all love not far down the road. And believe me, I'm not wishing for this to happen. Signed, Concerned, and Trying to Help.
I feel your pain.
That's right. I feel your pain. Who said that, JV?
Bill Clinton.
That's right. Poor guy. I feel for you, man. I really do. That's just too damn bad.
That's
So what I want to do now is I want to talk about this letter somewhat.
Okay.
Right?
Let's talk.
First of all, let's get into this. Anyone with anything to say can write to FP at fastplasticnct@gmail.com. Send us a note, drop us a line, tell us you hate us, make suggestions on how we can improve, whatever. We have an open door policy here, right?
Absolutely. Sure do.
All right. So here we go. Is our sport on the verge of collapse from this plague of super teams? Is it, guys? For the past several months, even the last year, I've heard from a lot of players with similar concerns. I've touched on this issue briefly on a few past shows, but I think it's time to delve in and provide my stance on this topic. Let me start with this. The letter I just read was written and submitted to FP in February in the year 2000.
Whoa.
18 plus years ago. That was before FP, before the USPPBA, before Palisades WBL, and before Golden Stick. Players were concerned that these super teams will drive the sport into the dirt. Well, guess what? It didn't happen. In 2001, the sport had an unbelievable growth spurt and continued to boom year after year. By 2006, 40 teams were filling the FPNCT from 22 different regions. And for the most part, all of these teams were super teams. And think about this. These were the winners from each region. What about all those super teams that couldn't make the trip to Texas? Those that didn't qualify? Hundreds of combined squads, all striving to grow and improve and perfect their gameplay. So this wasn't only going on in Fast Plastic. It was going on in NJWA. It was going on in Wiffle Up. It was going on everywhere. Super teams didn't kill FP or any other organization. In fact, I would argue that this influx of teams combining contributed to the rapid growth of the sport and forced organizers to improve their product. What slowed the growth were things like the failing economy, travel costs and restrictions, poor management decisions by organizers, and encroachments upon the freedoms of the player body, which, by the way, is an entirely different rant. So why do these players combine? That is the question. Is it for the money, for the glory, improved performance, or is it to preserve arms? What is it, JV?
I would say to preserve arms. No?
All of the above.
All the above.
At least all of the above.
Absolutely. That makes sense.
But of all of these that we mentioned, money until this year was at the bottom of that list for all these reasons, because there wasn't a whole lot of money being paid out. Not until you got to the end tournament, to the NCT, and still we're not talking about huge sums of money. But let's look at this a bit closer. The real reason why players seek out other equally talented, equally competitive players is because their brother, dad, cousin, uncle, son, best friend, or neighbor all no longer can hang with the big boys. The game brings out the true competitor, and it's all but not all of us possess that killer instinct, that drive to win it all. So we search for our wiffle doppelgangers, and in almost all cases, when these players are found, they are the players at the apex of the sport, the 10% that separates the true competitors from the weekend warrior types. Now, I had a comment here, but I'm not gonna go into that. But not all these mergers work. Many times there's some bad team chemistry, and I think everybody out there listening can think about a specific incident where a super team didn't work out and only lasted a few tournaments, a season, one tournament. So to wrap this up, I like freedom, and freedom is good. Let me choose my own team, my own teammates, because only I know what's best for me. I played in some experimental drafted team tournaments in Boston and called the Golden Stick Open. It was great to be playing with these great players, great tournament, but it presented some very awkward moments throughout the tournament. As a veteran, I didn't know how to approach my own teammates in key situations, and I didn't feel fully confident and didn't fully understand my teammates' roles, even my own in some aspects. So, for example, how many innings can a guy pitch before he's yanked? Who makes that decision? Should he be taking pitches in a certain situation rather than swinging away? Do we hurt his feelings if you tell the guy don't swing? Is the guy injured or is he not? I don't know. He hasn't said anything. We need to be able to understand our roles as a player and what our role is on a specific team. And you only get that by having camaraderie from playing with guys often and choosing the guys that you want to play with. It's about freedom. So what's your role? Are you a competitor that's going to seek out the best and strive to be the best, or are you the player that settles just for having fun? In case you don't know, your level of fun is enhanced exponentially when the level of competition is enhanced. I truly enjoy and always have competing against the very best. Boredom would have quickly settled in for me if my opponents were always the teams like the Kind Kinfolk or the Bob's Blue Jean Boys and the Tank Top Trio. Give me the 603 All-Stars all day long, guys. Super teams. I give them a big thumbs up.
Very good editorial.
Better to give them a thumbs up than to give them the finger. That's what I got to say, right, JV?
Yeah, I think that you made some pretty valid points there.
I hope so. And now I would leave it at this. It's time to call in and tell us. And tell me where to go, where to stick it. I don't care. But at any point, I'm interested in hearing what guys think, because this has been a hot topic for a long time, and I thought about it, and that's my stance. That's what I believe.
Well, you know, since we've been doing the Fast Plastic Radio Network, we've heard a lot of conversation about the super teams, and what a great time to have a soundboard for it. Phone lines are open, 618-200-9260. You got something you want to say about a super team, yay or nay, call us up. We'll put you on.
Absolutely. A little bit more about next week's show. I'm going to have a reveal, some other awards, rewards, implications that are going to come from this year's tournament and how it's going to affect the 2019 season and Fast Plastic as a whole.
Okay, well, that sounds good.
Yeah, so we'll get that in there.
So I tell you what, we have anything else to go on here while we're waiting for anybody that wants to call in? If there's anybody listening that's brave enough to call and give their views on super teams,
or just call in and
yeah, absolutely
talk about anything. You got a league, you got a tournament you're running. You don't like your girlfriend, want to know how to break up, whatever, give us a call.
Absolutely. 618-200-9260. Hit us here in the studios. We'll talk to you about it.
How much time we got left, JB?
We've got about 28 minutes. No, we'll take that back. We'll do 18 minutes.
All right. So while we're killing some time here, I want to talk a little bit about the bat rule, which is in the Fast Plastic rule book. It will be enforced at Texas. So I'm going to do a little bit of an illustration here while we're killing some time.
Aha.
So
right.
If you would, JB, hand me the bat over there.
Okay, hang on a second.
And I'm just going to point out what I'm seeing currently in the game. And
is that the one you wanted?
JB, come on.
That's a wiffle ball bat.
I said hand me the bat.
Oh.
JB, come on. You know what this is?
That's a bat.
That's my hand-carved wooden wiffle ball bat that I used way back in the 80s because that yellow thing was horrible. But no, I don't want that bat. That's not what I'm talking about.
Well, I'll put that one back.
How many bats we got over there, JB?
Oh, there's a lot.
All right, here we go. This is my logo bat. Tommy gave to me a long, long time ago. I still use this bat. I love it. So what I want to do is point out what I'm currently seeing a lot of guys doing, using bats that in Fast Plastic are going to be illegal. You have tape up here. You're taping your barrel. I'm not sure why you're doing it. Maybe your bat is broken. It's busted.
Buy a new bat.
Buy a new bat, guys. Come on. I mean, not only is that a potential safety issue, but support the guys that are making these bats, you know. Buy a new bat. It just looks better. We're getting a ton of video out there. Thousands. I mean, Palisades getting thousands and thousands of people watching these games, and you guys are using these bats that have duct tape and stickers and crap. They look like crap. So in Texas, nothing. 15 inches from the knob. 15 inches. That's all you're allowed. That's the only place you're going to be able to put any tape. Up here, nothing.
Nada.
So be prepared because I'm going to call you out on it. Hand me that other bat over there,
all right,
JB.
hang on.
Right here, Big Flies, another great piece of work. Talked to Babs the other day, and he's working hard, designing, research, and development. He says he's got something better in the works, so it's coming. But anyway, another example. Let me talk a little bit. 15 inches. That's it. Nothing up here. I mean, but look how nice and clean this bat looks. You swing something like this, you look like a professional hitter up there.
Absolutely. It's a nice bat.
Yeah. So you can't go wrong.
I'm just curious to see what Babs has got coming out that's bigger and better. I mean, that's a nice bat.
Well, he's working on the specs, the weights, different things, trying to meet the players' demands, you know.
Yep.
So confident he's going to get that done. But anyway, tell me what you think, guys. I'm telling you right now, I'm serious. If I see anything up here, if I see you have a broken bat, it's going to be tossed. It's a safety issue. And,
safety first.
We can't afford to have a broken bat flying, 2 rows back and hitting somebody's old lady in the forehead.
Or hitting me.
Or hitting JB.
Yeah,
or
can't have that.
Any of these innocent bystanders.
That's right.
Have I ever seen a bat break in a game? I have.
You have.
I have. Many times. Many times.
So it does happen.
It does happen. Yeah. I know there's a lot of concerns about aluminum bats. There are still some aluminum bats that are out there. I've never seen an aluminum bat break. I've never seen an injury occur from an aluminum bat.
Well, that's a good thing then.
Yeah. So anyway, go to the Fast Plastic website, fastplasticnct.com. Rule book is there. Scroll down. You'll get to the equipment section, and it's outlined in red where that will be enforced. There's a couple other rules that I've updated that are in red. You need to read up on those as well. You've got about 10 days left to get registered for the Texas Open for that $100 early bird special. Take advantage of it. Time's going to run out. Also, guys, 14 teams in. There's only 10 spots remaining. You better get in gear and get your rosters together and take advantage while you can.
Yeah, you don't want to be left as a spectator watching the game. Of course, that'll be just as exciting, but you're not going to get a chance to win by watching.
That's right. Because there's $10,000 going to be paid out.
$10,000. That's a lot of dinero.
All right. Well, anyway, we don't have any more action here. Nobody calling. I'm ready.
All right, then.
Cash it in.
Well,
unless you got something you want.
No, I don't really have anything, but what I will say is fastplasticnct.com. Get on there. Get signed up for the Texas Open. If you snooze, you're going to lose out, and you're going to be a spectator sitting beside me, and you don't want to do that because if it's going to be hot like it is now, you're not going to want to sit by me. So just telling you. Be sure and tune in next week right here, the Fast Plastic Radio Network. We're going to have a good show, and make sure you share this on your Facebook page. Let's get the word out to all the whifflers out there across the country and who knows, across the world. Let them know about the Fast Plastic Radio Network and what great things we've got going on right here in the good old US of A, because it's America, right? Absolutely. Till next week, this is JB and Billy O saying we're out of here. You guys have a great night. I almost forgot. I wanted to say happy birthday, Jim Ballion.
I bid you farewell, arrivederci, sayonara, and all that sort of cheers.
Yeah, I think Jim Ballion might be 53. Happy birthday.
Come on! Quit stalling!
As I was saying, Buster, this planet ain't big enough for the two of us. Oh, off you go.
Well, I can't do any more damage around this popsicle stand. I'm out of here!
Reverend Succotash, I wish you'd reconsider.
We hope you enjoyed the show.
When I say whoa, I mean whoa!
Do I hear amen?
You're mocking me, aren't you?
Darn, that's the end.